It's a great day. My name is Trey Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission really is to empower, our mission is to inspire, and our mission at the end of the day is to provide you, that's right, you, the hard working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. On this episode, we have the one and only Wayne. He's in the building. And he'll be talking about versatile communication skills and how that can help you as an entrepreneur, you as a leader, or you as someone just want to do some good in the world. Let me say hello to Layne. What's going on, Layne? How are you doing today?
Jay, I'm doing great. How are you, my friend? Thank you for having me.
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for being here. We appreciate it. Before we get started, because the audience will Google you and see how famous you are, and we'll get into your background and all the wonderful things you've done. But there's someone out there sitting saying, Shay, I showed up because he has Versatile Communicator or communication. So the first question is, when you hear the words versatile communication, what does that even mean? And why should entrepreneurs or leaders even care about it?
Jay, that is a great place to start. It's a fantastic question. And the name has done exactly what I intended it to do, to spark conversation. So I'm Layne Allen Fields, and I'm branding myself as the Versatile Communicator. And the way I came up with this name was a full examination of my life, my personality, my career, some of my accomplishments, and even some of my failings. Because notice I didn't say the perfect communicator, I said the versatile communicator. And what I have found in my 60 years of life is that versatility in several areas has served me well. I have been a generalist in an age of specialization. And actually, Che, I thought that there might have been something wrong with that because I could never find a thing that I could specialize in. And I had many communications with people and conversation. They said, no, Layne, your versatility is one of the things that makes you valuable in our relationship. The fact that you can do so many things, the fact that you can discuss so many things, and the fact that you can teach so many things. And one of the things that we appreciate about you is your versatility. And so, Che, I took that to heart. And when I turned 60 and decided what I wanted to be when I grow up, I decided that one of the things that I wanted to do was to help other people express and embrace their versatility so that they could learn to communicate across multiple platforms and not just in one specific area. So here I am, Layne Allen Fields, the Versatile Communicator.
Welcome aboard. Well said. I now have a full understanding, at least of why you got started and how you're going. But I'm curious, why, and this is a loaded question, but maybe you have an answer. Why are folks these days struggling with being a versatile communicator, right? I mean, they have AI. They can go to AI and say, hey, I like to say this, and AI says, say it just like this, right? They can turn on an Instagram video and someone's telling them how to say something. So I guess in the age of all this automation and all this technology and everything, that all the tools that we have, I guess the question I have is, why are folks still struggling to be a great or be a communicator or communicate their message? What's holding them back?
Well, it's the times that we're in. Communication is more than just words. It's more than just the speech. There are so many nuances to communication that are missing today. And one of those things, Che, is authenticity. After a while, everybody is going to start to sound like an AI message. You can already tell when an email has been crafted by AI. You can tell when a book has been written by AI. You can tell when somebody's damage control is crafted by AI. And one of the things that I believe that is missing is human interaction, human connection. And that has always been done through communication, verbal, nonverbal, all kinds of nuances related to it. And nobody really talks about it anymore. I mean, You see the struggle for people to communicate in every aspect of life. There are people who don't even know how to sit at a dinner table and engage one another. Let's not talk about doing a keynote speech in front of 1,000 people. There are people who can't even have a one-on-one conversation, and it's missing. We see it in the dating situation, even among young Black people who can't find a date, who can't find a mate because they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to have decent conversation over a glass of wine. Or if they're in sales, you can see people with slumping and sagging sales, maybe a realtor, maybe a salesperson selling cars or insurance, whatever it is. You can see it because of a lack of communication skill. And Che, I've also often thought, because I've been in leadership in different arenas over the course of my career, I had often said and thought that everything rises and falls with leadership. I no longer think that way. I believe everything rises and falls with a leader's ability to communicate, whether it's in the home, the workplace, social environment, what have you.
Well, let's start if we can, because that was well said. And we'll get a little more to his background in a minute, his backstory. But for the folks who are watching, a number of folks are leaders. They have to communicate with their team. And maybe you're a leader right now, and some of you are dualpreneurs. You work a full-time job and you are a full-time entrepreneur. Shout out to all the dualpreneurs, those 9 to 5 millionaires that's out there. I want to give you a shout out. And then others of you are leaders, and you lead teams, or you lead a community, or you lead in your faith walk. Here's my question to you. How does someone know that they're not an effective communicator? Like, because everyone, if you ever walk to someone and says, hey, do you think you're a good communicator? Absolutely. I'm the pastor of my church, or I'm an entrepreneur. So it's a loaded question again, but are there signs that someone should look at so they understand that, you know what, maybe I'm not being an effective communicator. I'm not being versatile enough. What are 1 or 2 or 3 things they should look for, do you think?
Well, let's start at the basic level. Jay, if all of your relationships are broken down and you're the common denominator, could be the fact that there are missing communication components. If you are in sales or some other transactional type of a relationship and the numbers are sagging, the needle's not moving, sales aren't growing, more than likely there's an issue with your ability to communicate. That could be in your presentation skills, it could be in your follow-up, it could be in your body language. There could be, or even if your numbers are low or bad and you're desperate and you have to have that sale, well, guess what? It comes out in the manner in which you communicate, and that desperation will run off a client faster than anything else. Or if you are the leader of an organization or a ministry or a business, and the people don't have any kind of connection with you whatsoever, because we're talking small here, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. If you're great at the visionary communication, but the people that you need to convince to move in a particular direction don't have any connection, don't feel any authenticity, don't feel any empathy, don't feel like you care enough as their leader about who they are, what their struggles are, what their challenges are in the workplace, then chances are you're not going to get them to give you the best that they have to offer. And so communication goes across the full spectrum of human interaction, from a one-on-one interpersonal interaction all the way through great visionary Newt Rockney, win one for the Gipper, let's knock down this brick wall for our leader, and everything in between.
As you were saying that, Layne, I was thinking, you've spent over, 25 years leading others and being in leadership. I'm curious, what's one lesson that you've learned in your journey in 27 years? I know it's hard to kind of put it all in one place, but what's one of the lessons you've learned on this journey that's really helped you be an effective communicator today? Understanding you also spent a number of years in leading in ministry as well. So you've got this duality going on. So for the audience, the question I'm asking is, what's one of the lessons he's learned on this journey that's helped him be an effective communicator as a leader? Was there a lesson? Was there an incident that took place along his journey?
Oh, sure. Jay, let me correct you slightly. I never wanted to embrace this reality, but I've actually been a leader my entire life, ever since I was a child. When I wanted to and when I didn't want to. Being a follower has never been in my personality makeup. And I've always been, from the time I was one of those kids, I was one of those kids that other people would gravitate to. And I don't know if I learned it or if it's just innate or God just put it on me. But it wasn't until I finally embraced the fact that, okay, Layne, you're a leader. Other people look to you for leadership. Other people look to you for advice, that I really began to grow into that person, right? But Che, here is the answer to your question. I've got the all-powerful cure and answer to your question. And I did not learn it in leadership. I learned it at home. Are you ready, my friend?
Absolutely.
The answer is shut up and listen.
Tell us more about that.
One of the traps of a communicator or a leader is to always feel the need to have the right words to say at the right time. If anybody ever says of you that you have the gift of gab, that is not a compliment. Because the gift of gab is not the single most important element of communication. And if you always have to be the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Therefore, an effective communicator, whether it's a husband, a dad, a friend, a coach, a leader, a mentor, a counselor, an effective communicator asks the right questions, and then they shut up and listen to the answer. Because if you listen effectively, if you listen empathetically, if you listen actively, and don't just listen so that you can curate your response, then what you'll find is that people will tell you exactly how to reach them. They'll tell you exactly what their hot buttons and their pressure points and their trigger points are. For example, if you're trying to sell someone a car and you ask the right questions, what are you looking for in your vehicle? And they tell you, I want a green one with tan leather interior. Shut up and listen, and don't try to sell them a blue one with green interior. They've told you what they want. Meet the need that they have identified. But if you're so busy talking, my mother said that you can't talk and you can't listen at the same time. So the key to it all, Jay, my friend, shut up and listen.
Shut up and listen. Well said. And I think that leads us to a really good part where we are in the podcast or this episode here. And that is a segment we have here called Today is My January 1st. Now, for those folks who tune in every night, it's an opportunity for us in a moment to learn a little more about Layne and did he ever have a setback? But for those folks who tune in every night, you know what we're about to do. This is an opportunity for you to step back and echo those magical words. Today is my January 1st. I know y'all wait to say that. You can go ahead and say it now. Today is my January 1st. Happy New Year to you, by the way. For all the other folks who are tuning in for the very first time, today is my January 1st is our personal mantra at the Happy Entrepreneur Show. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do-over. It means our past, no matter how dark and gloomy that past is back there, or how bright and sunny the past is, the past really no longer equals the future. So my question for Layne on the other side is really two parts. Number one, just when you hear the words, today is my January 1st, what do you even hear? What goes to your mind? And then number two, was there ever a time in your life, because it sounded like your life was perfect since you was a little kid, that there was a setback, that you tried to do something and it didn't work out? And if so, how did you bounce back from it?
Jay, you're not talking about my past. You're talking about my present, my friend. I am in that space right now. So I could probably tell you about 2 or 3 different bounce back moments where I've had to reinvent myself, where I've had to reevaluate, reassess the condition of my life, and adjust accordingly in order to move forward. I will tell you that back in February, I turned 60 years old. And for the past, I guess it would be 6 or 7 years now, I was in a very dark place. I was burned out. I was tired. I was worn out. I had undergone treatment for cancer and underwent a divorce at the same time. I was pastoring a church and I was running my home remodeling and construction business. And of course, I'm a father of 2. So I was juggling multiple things at one time for many, many years. And I reached my capacity. My tolerances were all stretched beyond their tolerances. So if I said that right, my tolerances were stretched beyond their tolerances. And I had to shut things down. And it was during that time when I walked away from so many things. I left the pulpit. I shut my business down for a season. I sold my big house and moved into a 2-bedroom bungalow here in the city of East Point, which is just on the south side of Atlanta, and decided how I was going to relaunch. This is not the first time I've had to do this. My construction business was actually born the same way. My first wife died when we were 35 years old from breast cancer. I had 2 little babies. I was pastoring a church. And 2 weeks after my boss attended my wife's funeral, I was laid off in a downsize. Searched for a new job for a year, could not find one. And the way circumstances lined up, I had remodeled my house in the midst of my grief. And when people would come over to visit me and the kids, they would say, "Hey, Layne, who did that?" And I said, "Oh, I did that." "Well, can you do that at my house?" And I would go do something at their house. One of their friends would see it and ask me to come do something at their house. And all of these divine providences were put in place that allowed me to relaunch myself as a solopreneur. So I fast forward to today, here and now, Jay. The Versatile Communicator, 3-tier communicator framework is all born out of me coming out of a period of burnout and darkness and uncertainty and not knowing what my life was going to be like as a 60-plus-year-old going into my 70s. And I began to assess my strengths, my weaknesses, my passions, the things that I was excited about. And one of the things that I love the most is teaching. One of the things that I love the most is helping people. One of the things I love the most is helping someone who is where I used to be avoid the pitfalls that I encountered along the way by not having certain pieces of information at my disposal, or Shay, being so locked into survival mode that I couldn't think strategically. And this is what the Versatile Communicator is all about. This is what the 3-tier communicator framework is all about. And today, my brother, is my January 1st.
I love it. I love it, by the way. And, as you're celebrating your January 1st, congratulations on keep putting one foot in front of the other and following where your heart took you. I'm curious for the person that's listening right now that says, I like this, Shay, but I feel like sometimes my voice just doesn't matter. He's able to tell the stories so eloquently. He's okay with talking about things that happened in his past. But I feel like sometimes that my voice really doesn't matter. He has this 3-tier a framework that he talks about. Can you have him slow down for a moment? I know you can't give it all away, but what are the three tiers? And maybe what's one takeaway that someone listening could use to help them along this journey of being a versatile communication? So that's the question. What are these three tiers? You talked about 3 times already. And then how can someone take one piece of those and make their communication skills better?
Sure. Let me address your first comment first, and that is everyone's voice matters. The question is on how large of a platform. As we know, comparison can be the thief of joy. And there are so many people who want to do it like someone else. They want to be big on large platforms in front of large audiences. And if they don't ever attain that, they feel as though their voice isn't resounding. I learned that probably most effectively as a pastor. One of the pitfalls of a lot of us in the ministry is we see people with big churches and big ministries, and we may have a smaller ministry or a medium-sized ministry with the desire to reach the big mega church status, and it never materializes. But does that mean that the few people who do hear our voice are not important? The one is as important as the 99. And I remember making a commitment when I first went into ministry, and that is whether I minister or preach to an audience of 1 or to an audience of 1,000, they were going to get the best of me that I had to offer at that time. And so, my friend, whoever you are watching this podcast, be encouraged. Your voice matters. Even if it matters to one person, what you do for that one person can leave a legacy that multiplies exponentially long after you're gone. So do not despise the days of small beginnings, whether it's for your business, your ministry, your coaching business, your consulting business, whatever it is. Do not despise the days of the small beginning.
Yeah, small hinges swing big doors. I love it. I love it.
Jay, I think I lost you. My screen is frozen. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me now? Now, the second part of the question, which I'm sure you're about to get to, was tell us about this 3-tier framework. So what is it? That's question number 1. Number 2, how does it apply to folks that are watching, especially entrepreneurs that are watching now? And maybe what's one takeaway? You say, look, there's 3 tiers here, but here's where someone should start. Again, folks at home, I know y'all are different places. Some of you are very experienced and you want to get better. Like, no, get to the advanced stuff, Shay. And then some of you are like, Shay, I got to get back to the fundamentals. I'm starting over again. It's okay. He's going to do his best to try to package it all so you all can benefit. So take it away, the 3-tier approach. Please tell us about it.
Yes. So the 3-tier communicator framework, first of all, it was born out of my background as a basketball player. I played a little hoop back in my day, never a professional, but I was good enough to make it through college on a full athletic scholarship playing basketball. And in basketball, we have what we call a 3-level scorer. Very simply, a 3-level scorer is someone who can score close to the rim, someone who can score in the mid-range, and then someone who can shoot the long-distance bomb that you get 3 points for. And that person is called a 3-level scorer. The really good players can score on all 3 levels. I've taken that same simple philosophical approach to the idea of communication. Now, the 3 tiers in and of themselves, there's nothing proprietary about the 3 tiers. It's not even rocket science, Jay. Mm-hmm. But tier number 1 is what I call, well, let me back up. For the purpose of alliteration and memorization, I gave them all a T, the letter T. So the first tier is what I call a technical communicator. I don't mean technical in the terms of debits and credits technical, but technical in the sense of there's certain basic communication building blocks and techniques that you need to communicate one-on-one, interpersonally, to make a connection with another human being. The second tier is what I call a transactional communicator. This is the mutual exchange of value. This is where you build trust and where you get somebody to give something in exchange for some value that you give. The third tier is what I call a transformational communicator. So a technical, a transactional, and then a transformational communicator. You see that most vividly with your pastor or your spiritual leader when they communicate things to you that cause you to make lasting change and to make different decisions that result in either the quality of your life being better or um, some other advancement of your existence. You also see that at high end motivational speakers like Tony Robbins and Les Brown and E.T. and all of these people who motivate people to do something different that will make a transformational difference in their lives. Now, how does that speak to your audience? If you are an entrepreneur, solopreneur, salesperson, agent of some kind, leader of some kind, my personal opinion is that it's not good enough to be a rock star in front of the big crowd and not be able to interact with somebody at the dinner table or in an elevator or perhaps a chance meeting that the person in the seat next to you in the airplane may have the key to changing your life and your business, right? So, on a very basic nuts and bolts level, there are certain things at tier one that I believe everybody should have. Things like body language, open, unthreatening, connected, eye contact, the ability to ask the right questions, the ability to listen actively and attentively, even things like spatial and distance recognition, basic building blocks that speak even beyond words. And then, of course, word choices are important as well. So, if you're in any of those roles or responsibilities, you should be able to do that and you should be able to do it effortlessly. Then there is a transactional communicator. The transactional communicator is someone who can create win-win circumstances, win-win outcomes, to where I want something from you, but here's what I'm willing to give in exchange for the value that you're giving me. Here's how I'm going to add value to you. And you need to be able to do that effectively, effortlessly, so that it doesn't seem so laborious and so. Have you ever met somebody, Che, that every time you talk to them or the phone rings and they're on the caller ID, you wonder what they're trying to sell you now? How much is this
Absolutely.
conversation going to cost you now? Right?
Yes.
Well, if you're that obvious, then I don't think that's effective. But if you have an ability, an easy way to be transactional, this is what I want. This is what I'm willing to give in exchange for what I want. What is it that you want from me? And how can I accommodate whatever it is that you need so that when we both walk away from this table, I feel victorious, you feel victorious. And guess what that'll do? That will open up an opportunity either for you to tell your friends about me or refer me or for us to do business again. But if one of us walks away from that table feeling as though we just got screwed, we just got hammered, we just got ripped off, then that's going to leave a distaste in somebody's mouth that will never cause them to refer you or call you back or invite you again or to even bring you back to the table. So the technical communicator, the simple nuts and bolts of just being able to have a good. Here's one for you, Che.
Sure.
When I was a medical sales professional in New York City, I used to have to get the attention of these prestigious surgeons and physicians who the last thing they wanted to do was talk to a sales rep. I cannot tell you how many times I bumped into the person that I had been trying to see for 6 months on the elevator or on the sidewalk going into the office, and had to be able to quickly identify myself, tell them who I am, what I do, and to get an appointment to go in and see them. And that 2-minute message, that elevator speech, that quick hitter, you have to be able to do that effortlessly. And all of these things apply directly to an entrepreneur or a solopreneur or an agent or a salesperson. And then, of course, when you get the opportunity to stand in front of a room full of people, you can't freeze and go into flight, fight, or freeze mode. You have to be able to stand and deliver. And so my 3-tier communicator system is an amalgamation of all three. Individually, there's nothing proprietary about it. But the way that I walk my clientele through the 3 tiers of being able to communicate effectively, when you put that all together, I have trademarked the 3-tier communicator framework, which was born from the 3-level scorer that a basketball player needs to be.
I love it.
Go
Said
Knicks.
so well, man. I love it. Congratulations to you. The 3-tier framework. As we come down the home stretch,
Yes.
2-part question. Number 1, what type of clients is your firm looking to work with these days, if any? And number 2, how can folks connect with you? They're listening now. They like what they hear. Like, Shay, I like to stay in this conversation. Is there a website I should go to? Is there a phone number I should go to? What should I do next? So please tell them.
All right. So by the time this airs, my website may be ready, but my website is under construction. So right now I'm available on Facebook under Layne Allen Fields, Layne, Allen, spelled properly with 2 L's and an E, Fields, Layne Allen Fields. You can also find me on Instagram and on TikTok under that same name as well, which is my government name, and the Versatile Communicator. So you can find me. Or you can Google me. I'm out there. You might find some sermons, or you might find some things related to my construction business. But who do I work with? Right now, because I'm just really getting off the ground, my clientele seems to be salespeople, real estate agents, and church leaders, and some tradespeople. I offer something called the Versatile Communicator workshops that I'll be publicizing much more aggressively in the upcoming future. But for now, just shoot me an email at laynefields@hotmail.com. LAYNEFIELDS@hotmail.com. And once all of my website and my socials and everything gets really, really ramped up, I'll make sure that I reach back out to you and whoever it is and get them my information. And I should have a virtual Versatile Communicator workshop coming up soon. Me and my team are trying to put together the date and make sure the content is right. My first Versatile Communicator workshop was in real life, live and in person, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And so the next iteration of that will be virtual so that I can get people from around the country. So that's where I am right now. Just getting off the ground. This is my January 1st, brother. And you are the first podcast that I've been on related to this. And you're the first podcast that I've ever been on. And I want to give you an exclusive. Here is the manuscript to the 3-tier communicator book that is coming out. 20 chapters of goodness.
Oh, I can't wait. We are behind the scenes. We have an exclusive. I didn't know that, but how cool is that? I got a chance to meet Layne in person. He was at Rise Rain Tour with Dr. Shavonna Heron Johnson, and that was cool. And so glad he could be here and pour into you. Let me say thank you so much, Layne. I can't wait till you, 1, launch everything, and 2, can't wait to get again to see you again in person.
Che, likewise, thank you for having me. And here's the one thing about the Queen of the East, Miss Shavonna Heron Jackson. I want to thank her for making this connection, because you don't know this, but prior to coming to the Rise tour at Chateau Elan up in Brazelton, Georgia, which was phenomenal, I hadn't seen Shavana since she was about maybe 5 or 6 years old. We're from the same hometown. And so when I got there and
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
so when I got there and we greeted one another, I was actually shocked that she remembered me. So I'm so proud of her. She is the real deal, baby. And so, Shavana, the Queen of the East, salute to you if you're watching. And I thank you for what you've done for me since we've reconnected. And Che, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, man. Can't wait to connect with you again soon. Thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. You have a lot of choices and you choose to be with us. So thank you so much. Without you, we don't have a show, by the way. And I never get tired of reminding you every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, no matter what's going on in your life, by the way, whether you're doing really, really well and you're going to that next level of success, whatever that looks like for you, or maybe you've been hit with the punch that you never saw coming. The one thing I do believe is that today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason alone, I believe your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. That being said, my name is Che Brown. I'm out. Peace, everybody. We'll see you all on the other side. God bless and keep doing God's work. Out. Bye-bye.